it's really neat to see the support that you guys give for local sports and local organizations here. When you're young and growing up and you go to the rink or you go to the baseball diamond or whatever you do, you just kind of take all that stuff for granted that, you know, it's just sports. You just show up and play and that's it. But you don't realize how many people are involved behind the scenes making stuff like that happen and allowing kids and athletes in the region to further their career or play for fun or whatever it is they want to do. So thanks to you guys for taking the time and effort to do all that for our sports here in the region. So getting into the hockey stuff a little bit, this season it's been an exciting year so far. Obviously we've won more than we've lost, which is always nice. And you know, anytime you have a chance to win the Midwest Division, which is always probably the toughest division I'd say in the CHL, then you know it's been a pretty successful year so far. That being said, we still got a long road to go here and a lot of work to do. But like I said, it's been exciting, and for that reason, we've been able to make the trades like we mentioned and bring in some new players over the past week or two here. I'll go back a little bit to the summer and talk about some of the acquisitions we made and how that all came about. With Logan Stanley coming in, that was kind of the trigger, I think, to getting us on the right track at the start of the year and showing that, you know, we kind of meant business this year, and this was a year that we were looking to do some damage in the league. And I think that happened at the start of the year, and we were pleased with how the start of the year went. Just because you have a decent team on paper and you bring in a guy like Logan doesn't mean that you're guaranteed success. But our team played well to start, and that kind of triggered us to make our next move, bringing Cole Sherwood in, an overage player. And then from then on in, again, we continued to win and do the right things and look like a top team in our league. And then finally, it culminates in January here with the trade deadline, where we bring in Logan Brown, Austin McEnany, Giovanni Smith, Mario Colina, and we're happy with bringing those guys in. But when I spoke, when I first was named GM, I think it was in March, sometime in March. The word I always used was sustainability. And that's what we're trying to build. So I think even though we brought these guys in and they're going to really help our team and hopefully make a push through playoffs and take us far in playoffs, we're probably most proud of the fact that we didn't completely blow our team's future up. If you look around the league right now, there are some teams that have done that last year. There are some teams that have done that again this year. And when we looked at our team, we decided we weren't in a position to be able to do that. Number one, because I truly don't believe that you have to do that to win. Sometimes teams feel like they have to do that, and that's fine. But I truly believe if you draft well and bring in the right guys, that you can add pieces without completely blowing up your draft picks, trading away prospects, things like that. The other reason we weren't able to do it is because if you look at teams that did it last year, they knew that they were getting guys back as 19 and 20-year-olds that could come back and be players that they could trade elsewhere. Guys that are top at NHL picks, for example, a guy like Logan Brown. When we acquire him, they get a prospect back and they get draft picks back. We looked at our team, we looked at our guys that were going to be 19 next year, and we have some very good players that are going to be 19 and 20 next year, but there aren't guys that can bring back that type of return. So we didn't want to get caught here blowing things up, leaving things completely empty, and then go to try to do what everyone else does and recoup all that next year. And then we look around and go, maybe we overestimated our guys and people aren't willing to give us as much as we thought. So that's probably the thing we're most proud of doing is adding a lot to our team and also keeping our draft picks stock intact. I think we're exactly neutral right now, if not slightly above neutral when it comes to second, third, and fourth round high picks in the draft for the next 10 years. So that's the one part of it. And the other part of it is guys like Riley Damiani and Giovanni Velati are still with us, and they're a big part of our team this year, and they'll continue to be, and we'll continue to grow and add around those guys moving forward when some of our older players do leave. So that was kind of the mindset to give you guys a bit of a feel for what we were thinking, and we're really happy with how it turned out. It obviously doesn't mean anything. I told our team a couple of days ago, it doesn't matter if you're a good team on paper, hockey games aren't won on paper. So you still need to go out and compete, and that will continue to be the message for our team moving forward. Another exciting thing happened over the last week or two with the addition of Michael Vukovic. I was saying that name wrong the whole time, and we just realized that that's the right way to say it. So Michael's playing Green Bay, committed to University of Michigan, and decided that he was going to join our team this year. He's a very talented player, had a lot of options, and we're thrilled to have him. It was very tough and heartbreaking to trade away a player like Grayson Ladd, who's a phenomenal kid and is going to be a phenomenal player. But bringing in a guy like Michael helps soften that blow a little bit, and we're looking forward to having him on our team for the next few years and seeing him develop into hopefully an elite player in our league. That's the hockey side of things. I won't be up here long because I've heard rumors that there's a lot of questions coming my way after this. But the job itself, just to give some insight on that, the way we try to do things, and I try to do things personally, but also impress on our staff, our coaching staff, is we look at a process versus results. So, at the end of the day, you're judged by your results always, and that's sports. Whoever has the most goals on the scoreboard at the end of the game wins. That's a result. But sometimes we have to take a step back from that and look more at the process and how we got there and how we're doing things. And I truly believe, and we truly believe, that if you stick to the process and the things that you think will make your team successful, then the results will follow. And I think there's been games this year where we maybe deserved to win, but we lost, and we came back into the room after and said, you know what, we played well, we deserved to win. The result wasn't there, but let's stick to the process and continue on that track, and eventually we'll be successful with what we're trying to accomplish. So that's something that we really focus on with our group, with our team, with our staff. And the other thing that helps me personally, and I don't know if there's any book readers out there, but I thought I'd mention this because it's really helped shape the way I think. I think it can be translated over to any job or any kind of walk of life, whatever it is you choose to do. It doesn't have to be hockey, it doesn't have to be just sports, but something that I've been reading up on is Stoicism. And basically the short version of the definition of Stoicism is controlling your mind and emotions and controlling what you can control. So that's something that, again, I try to do. There's a lot of it, and this can be said for anyone, I think, that works a job, has a boss, has a stressful job, things like that. But there's so many different voices always in your head, or people telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Negative people, positive people, people telling you you're too good, people telling you you suck, all these different things. So I find this stuff really helps me stay on track and block out that and control your mind. And at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control. I can't go out on the ice and play the game for the guys, and it's a helpless feeling. But once you understand that, and that's just one example, but it can, like I said, it can be for anything, any job. Once you realize that you control only your mind and what you can do and how you react to situations, I think that's helped me a lot in what I do, and I think it can also help. So before I finish off here, the book that I read was called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And if anyone wants to ever read a good book, I would suggest that one with that type of thing in mind. So other than that, guys, again, thank you for your continued support for the Rangers. we appreciate all the support throughout the region. It's an exciting year, and hopefully we can continue to win some hockey games down the stretch. And thanks again for having me, guys.